changed up a little bit for
That's right. Good evening, Glacier Peak High School tonight, Edmonds-Woodway. It's just a rerun, right? Head coach Robert Brown here, Scott Oshman, STSPN. Coach Brown, you know, interesting year coming in. You had such big seniors last year. You made a pretty big run. Your first year as head coach. How did you do it? I mean, you weren't supposed to be this good this far, right?
I didn't do anything. The kids did it. It's been a cult. Like you said, we had all those seniors who have been in the program for so long. It's just a culture. I mean, the kids knew. We had the kids in during Christmas break, the guys that graduated, the Travis Balkins, the Tate Budnicks, and it's just a culture. The kids know what we expect, and they get after it, and it's all about them. It's what they've done.
And you just played them Tuesday night, obviously a tough loss. You're coming off two really tough losses. You know, it's like football, right? You're not probably going to change anything up. It's just we're going to do what we do and see if they can stop it.
We had so much fun, we decided to do it again. I mean, you know what? If you wanna be where you wanna be one of the best teams, you have to beat the best team in the league, and they've proven to be the best team in the league. They've had 20 games. They were 10-1 in league. They proved what they were. So if we want to get to that level, we have to win a game.
All right, it's coming up. First district playoff game here, Glacier Peak. Coach, thanks so much. Good luck tonight. Absolutely. Back up to Keith Neely, and then I'll go try and see if we can get head coach for Glacier Peak, Brian Hunter. Keith?
Thank you, Scott. A big matchup on the docket tonight. The Glacier Peak Grizzlies and the Edmonds-Woodway Warriors. And they stack up the number 7 seed in the Wesco against the number 2 seed in the Wesco. And this is all of Wesco, folks, not just the Wesco South, which is what Scott was alluding to in the matchup is a repeat. And now we'll go down to, once again, to Scott. He's got Brian Hunter in his 8th year standing by.
Over here with Coach Hunter. Coach, I told the game I had some really original questions, which would be shocking for anybody who knows my interviewing practices. You've been doing this a long time. What is it about high school basketball that has changed now today, going in playoffs, than it was even 10 years ago or 19 years ago when you started?
Well, I think kids are stronger today, for sure. But, you know, there's a few more specialized kids now. Kids in the past used to play a lot of sports, but today they're playing one. But, you know, it's still the same. It's very similar to how it was before.
And tonight, again, you're kind of going back Tuesday night. You're going to do what you do. But talk a little about what you've had to overcome this year. Again, leading the conference, but you've had to do it with a lot of different kids.
Yeah, you know, we were just joking today earlier. We've had, I think, 7 leading scorers in games this year. That's not our norm, but it's been different guys stepping up, different guys playing different roles, and we've had to shuffle stuff, but, you know, we've had certain guys be really solid, and that's been big for us. Guys to rely on, and everybody else fits in. So it's worked so far. All
right, we should have a doozy. Thanks. Good luck, Coach. Have a great game. Back District 1 playoffs. Glacier Peak right after this on STSPN.
Right on. Let's do this.
King of NBA 3-ball. He just absolutely drains that one.
Ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to playoff basketball. Okay, welcome back here. Scott Oshman and I am just what another pleasure here. He was a nice, hospitable guest when I went over to Edmonds-Woodway High School earlier in the year, and I am just so thrilled to have Keith Neely here, the voice of the Edmonds-Woodway Warriors. Keith, how are you, man?
We're doing great, and you know, it's a couple of teams that you and I should feel really cozy with, very comfortable with. Edmonds-Woodway and the Glacier Peak Grizzlies. Of course, you mentioned it down there in the interview to Coach Brown. It's Pete and repeat. We've already rolled this off once.
Yes, and I tell you, if I'm Edmonds-Woodway, I'm you know, Coach Brown talked about he didn't really want to see them this quickly, but if I'm those guys, I want to see them right away because I almost had them. It was 2 minutes left, 11-point lead, and they almost took it to them.
Come down to the final couple of minutes and you want to be in ball games and to have a chance against the #1 team in your league and find yourself in that pivotal spot when you have the chance to win a ball game, especially on the road. And a tough gym to play if you're a visitor. You got to feel that you came away from that game with something. And to have that memory so soon, I think it's actually an advantage to this team to know that they can come in, and if they get a couple of shots early, they might pull up the upset.
Well, we should see again. The format this year is a little interesting, a little different. Again, Glacier Peak coming away, they took first in the West Coast South 3A, but as on the books on the bracket, this is the number 2 versus number 7. I loved how you kind of broke it down earlier in an earlier broadcast on Soundline Sports Network. Why don't you do that again?
Yeah, it's tough to wrap your head around. Before the season started, they got together and they made the announcement that basically a coin flip, that the Wesco North would get the 1s, 3, 5, and 7 seeds, so the odd seeds, and the South would get the evens, 2, 4, 6, and 8. And of course, you've got a little bit of a wild card in Ferndale, and depending on how their percentage of wins comes in, they will insert themselves into that lineup and then bump everybody else down below them. So the tradition of having to play your first game, 1s versus 8s, or the 1 versus 4 in the North, and the 1 in the South plays the 4 in the North. That's off. Those bets are off. So it's a shakeup. It's a lot different, which is why you see an interconference, interdivision playing together.
We'll be back with the tip-off right here on STSPN.
Shoreline Community College and Puget Sound Auto Dealers Association have been recognized internationally for its pioneering in finding a new way to deliver technical training for automotive repair.
Scott Depew and John McGinnis.
Back here live in the Bear Cave here at Glacier Peak High School in Snohomish, Washington. Scott Oshman along with Keith Neely. And this is fun. I'll do play-by-play for the first half. Maybe Keith will switch for the second half. It's awesome because I'm obviously very familiar with this team. I've been doing Glacier Peak football, basketball, just like you, for many years. So we have, it's just like we had Steve Willits on, the voice of the Montlake Terrace Hawks. So this is awesome, Keith. I'm excited.
Yeah, it should be a good ball game, and let's shake it out, man. It's right here. A couple of good teams locking horns right off the bat. First round of District 1 playoffs.
Earlier in the season, Glacier Peak went to Edmonds-Woodway, had their way with the Warriors with a 62-42 win January 15th. But again, Tuesday night, that's the one we're talking about. They escaped here. Glacier Peak did 61-58 as we are underway. 8 minutes in the first quarter. The tip goes to the Grizzlies.
And Scott, I think you got to set the pace early if you're the Grizzlies. You got to establish that you are the better team, and everything that happened on Tuesday night at the end of that ball game might have been a fluke, and we're going to come out strong this time.
Guffey there, 21 into Brady. Great look down low to Middendorf. Jake Middendorf, the senior, starts it off 2-0.
Able to get some penetration off the top, and double team came, and obviously a man's open, a little dump underneath, beautiful play.
Keith, you've looked at these players quite a bit. We'll talk to you. Rice, obviously, and Holland, kind of the two marquee, but they've been getting some great play. Underneath, you'll see Ollie Gay, turnaround, no good. Rebound by Southern. Here comes Glacier Peak. Talk a little bit about what the players here from the Warriors.
Well, you mentioned one player that I don't see on the court right now, in Trey Holland. He had 20 points on Tuesday, and he's sitting right now. He'll come off the bench to start, and that's a bit of a surprise.
The Holland, the sophomore phenom, as Keith educated me earlier that he started as a freshman, and there's a 3-ball corner too much, and the rebound goes to Rice. And Rice in the patented shoes this year, that's how everybody knows him, Keith.
Boy, you can almost patent those socks, too. I think he's got the package right there.
Rice tries to go down, but it's interrupted.
Ollie Gay gotten a couple really nice looks deep, and Glacier Peak's going to have to keep the peripheral open. That's a big body down there low.
If you're not familiar with Glacier Peak basketball, again, here's Hatch for 3, and that's what they can do.
Creating space against the zone. Rice kind of got sucked in down low, trying to help out on the big man, and that left Hatch open, buries it.
29% from beyond the arc for the season is his percentage for Zach Hatch, the junior. 5-0 Glacier Peak, 5:48 here in the first quarter. Glad you're with us. Rice goes down. Gay gets a nice little 4 or 5 footer. That's a tough shot.
Yeah, short corner jump shot. That's practiced an awful lot. Edmonds-Woodway against the zone wants to score from that short corner, and a good place to get Gay open. He's had 3 looks and finally feels the rhythm a little bit.
Peltier with the ball, number 13, gets it over the top of the key for Middendorf. Way under, they go to the big fella, Brady Southard, and he goes up, draws the foul from Gay. And Brady Southard has just been a beast, not only last year, but coming into the entire season. Brady Southard, the 6'4 senior, go to the line.
Not having seen Glacier Peak a lot, let me tell you what I like about Southard just right there. The way he got fouled, and he, with authority, walked back to the free throw line. I mean, he knew he was setting up, and he was going to be shooting free throws, and he turned around like he was going to shoot long before the ball came. That's some confidence.
He knew he can square up on the block, 51.5% from the free throw stripe. Again, not his specialty. He missed both of those. But the rebound, nonetheless, goes to Guffey, but now it is going to stay Glacier Peak basketball.
Ollie Gay lost his footing over there along the baseline, and I think he tried a little Hollywood after he tipped it out. Referee right there saw the whole thing.
Guffey gets it out to Grant Peltier, another senior. But again, interesting in the 8th season here of the entire school here, Glacier Peak, and also Brian Hunter, is Guffey around the free throw. Too much sauce on that one. Rebound, here comes Rice. They have balanced scoring, which is something rare that they have not experienced, as they're going to call Rice here for a travel. But that's what's different about this team. First of all, the depth. They really have juggled a lot of players. You'll see new players up from JV, but they've got more balanced scoring than they've had in many recent years.
Coach Hunter making depth. I don't know that he would have agreed with you early in the season, and he had a lot. But I tell you what, he gets a couple kids, and you give him some opportunities, you put him in the right spots to succeed, and suddenly you've got more depth than maybe you thought you had otherwise.
Yeah. And that's what's fun, you know, at high school is Zach Hatch. Nice cut through the lane, good little feed, but he skipped a little bit with the ball. It's turnover in Edmonds-Woodway basketball.
And now you'll see the likes of Trey Holland, who enters the ball game for the first time, and Holland will take over that point guard spot, can penetrate, and has a very quick first step.
Holland averaging 15, just under 15 a game as Rice gets caught with a double team. He'll go Ollie Gay, but no good. Rebound, Zach Hatch. I'm excited to see Trey Holland live and in person here tonight.
Great help side defense by Glacier Peak in that last possession, able to recognize that Rice had nowhere to go down there, and because he's an undersized forward, really couldn't see around the double team.
Peltier drives in, gets it out to Guffey. Now the quick pass around the arc. Tries the no-look down to Middendorf. It's tipped away. It'll stay GP basketball.
Big arms of Ryan Peterson for Edmonds-Woodway, able to tip that one clear.
And E-Dub has some size, 6'6", as they get into Brady. He goes up 6'4", 6'6".
Oh, what a beautiful move. The little reverse. Realized he had Peterson on his hip and made him pay.
First 2 for Southern. 7-2, 3:43 in this first quarter, and there's an off-ball whistle. Our second foul, of the game. And that's going to go on Peterson.
I didn't see it, Scott. It was away from the ball, and it was a pretty quick whistle.
We'll
so
see.
Obviously right in front of some eyeballs.
And Edmonds-Woodway, again, this is what happened. This is what a little bit of your taste of your own medicine. The press from Woodway on Glacier Peak caused some issues late in the game on Tuesday night.
Certainly didn't have any issue there, bringing the ball up. Very comfortable against the man-to-man pressure on full court.
Guffey into the lane. Nice! Rejects him, but he stays with it. Oh, perseverance!
Peterson slapped his hand, thought he got one there, and he did get it, but just wasn't able to finish the play on defense. And, it has to come any way you can get it. Sometimes you're going to embarrass yourself, but if you can come right back up and score, it's all good.
Holland here on the other side. Drives now on Peltier. Gets a nice little pick by Peterson. Can't deliver, and here comes Peltier the other way. Down to Guffey. Corner, Hatch. 3-ball, nice!
Gay with a swat. into the flower garden along the baseline. 2:50 to go here.
Ollie Gay, 6'6" sophomore. Again, talking to Coach Brown, he lost some big guns last year, but I like his youth coming up this year as well.
Sometimes you've got some people in the stable that'll surprise you. Look at the Jackson Timberwolves. After their crushing loss in the state games last year, you thought, well, they're going to be done without the likes of Kingma and Todd and everyone.
And Southern goes up, and Middendorf tries to get the garbage. Cannot get the tip in. It rolls out, but Brady Southern doing what he does, takes the lunch pail, the hard hat, and he just keeps at it under the boards.
Also number 10 for the Warriors, Dominic Marinas, his first.
Go back to the Jackson Timberwolves story. It's
unbelievable.
They're number one in their league. They go in as the 1 seed, Scott, and no one even gave them the time of day in the coaches poll leading into the preseason.
Unbelievable job by Steve Johnson. Is Guffey inside, but they're going to get Hatch, I think, on the off-ball call. Just got a little aggressive holding on the screen there, and Rice. And again, coming in, Brady Southern just quickly, 153 total rebounds. Wow. 105 defensive rebounds coming into tonight's game.
Wow. And he's got the body size for it. I mean, you can tell that he's a big stout guy. Obviously, the last 2 times that Gay had a shot up there, he was the first man to put a body on somebody. So an excellent fundamental blocking out.
Holland with his first 3 misses it, but he gets there for the pickoff. Holland the other way, back down on the right corner. Marinez can't get it to go, and they're shooting. Woes continuing the first. Hatch on the other way, the little scoop and finger roll. 1:55 left. Coach Brown's going to call a timeout. 11-2 Glacier Peak on top. District 1 playoff basketball on STSPN. We'll be back.
Clogged drain? Other plumbing problems? Call Action Jackson Plumbing for 24-hour service. Owned by a lifetime Edmonds resident and Edmonds-Woodway grad, Action Jackson is the drain cleaning specialist. They can unclog most internal drains for only $99 plus tax. Call 425-877-5601 or visit actionjacksonplumbing.com.
Back here, Scott Oshman, Keith Neely here, live Glacier Peak High School, and our District 1 playoff. And Todd Elvig, the executive producer, boy, he has seen a lot of basketball today, Keith. Let's just put it that way.
A lot of basketball, a lot more than you or I.
He had the equipment on full rollers coming into the game, and he had to set up in
there were sparks off
time.
The rollers.
There were.
They were flying in.
Edwards tries to drive in, but Peterson with the rebound, but his hand is picked, and it was his hand, not the ball, by Guffey, and he'll draw the foul.
Peterson able to get off the ground, get that big frame elevated. Kept the ball alive.
I thought you were still talking about me.
Oh, that's right.
The big frame elevated, yeah.
What's your vertical, Todd?
3 inches.
Edmonds-Woodway, they're trying to get something going. Rice back out.
Has one field goal through 6.5 minutes.
And there's a great steal and dish for Ryan Peterson, the 6'6 sophomore.
Going to have to get more shot attempts than you're getting right now if you're Edmonds-Woodway. 2 field goals made in a little over 6 minutes of play and a district matchup. Boy, unless you can bring absolute studly defense, it's going to be a long night for you.
Everybody trying to get to Jackson High School, the home of the districts. Next week, Southern. Hatch stops, little jumper in there, that goes, and Zach Hatch, again, early in the season, he had a few games where he got smoking hot.
Well, how must you feel when you can get a big like Peterson come lunging at you like that, when you have to alter your shot to where it has snow on its descent and still make it happen?
Holland with a nice teardrop, cannot get it to roll. Again, the rim's not friendly here for the Warriors early on. 43 seconds in this first quarter. Guffey drives on Peterson. Peterson said, "Oh, not in my house."
And you have to call the foul there. It was a little kind of tic-tac, but Rice definitely went down, and you have no choice if you're a referee to blow the whistle there. And it's unfortunate for both teams because Edmonds-Woodway, I think, had a 2-on-1 break. They keep that going. Glacier Peak if they allow themselves to get back, I think they've got a chance with the way they run the court so well. So a stoppage of play nonetheless, 37 seconds to go.
And Glacier Peak sends in Brandon Tatro, who had a terrific night Tuesday night. Played a little bit this year, mostly on JV. As Holland again makes it work. He drives on Peltier. Peltier is one of their best defenders, and he'll earn a trip to the stripe.
I mentioned when he came into the ball game that first step, and then he put that to show right there. Boy, once you get one step by a defender, if you can get right up to the rack, you're gonna get some success.
And the southpaw puts it in. That foul was on Grant Peltier, his first. Glacier Peak has 4 team fouls. Edmonds-Woodway with 3 as Peterson takes a breather here with 26.8 left in the first period. Holland for the second. That one too hard, but a big rebound. Nice job by Okereke. And Holland wants to take it again. Nifty little slice and dice for the deuce.
And then comes right back and gets the tip and the full court pressure. And I'm not entirely sure what the motive was for keeping him out of the first 2 or 3 minutes of this ball game. But he can electrify you. And teammates are going to feel that.
I was thinking the same thing. Electric triple team right in the trap, and Hatch get away with it. Goes to Brady, and he might have shuffled his feet. Yeah. I'm not sure, but he gets the basket right as the buzzer. That one off the rim. Oh my goodness. A flurry of activity here to end the first. Glacier Peak 15, Edmonds-Woodway 7. That'll do it for first quarter. Do not go away. I just have a good feeling about this one. STSPN.
Shoreline Community College and Puget Sound Auto Dealers Association have been recognized internationally for its pioneering in finding a new way to deliver technical training for automotive repair.
Scott Oshman, Keith Neely back here at Glacier Peak High School. Keith, let's walk through what both these teams are trying to do, get past for either of them get a win or a loss. What does that look like here is the bracketology by Keith Neely.
That's right. Wednesday, no matter win or lose, you're going to play on Wednesday night. The key, though, is making it to Jackson High School and the winning side of the bracket. So right now, Ferndale and Marysville-Pilchuck, MP getting the number 3 seed. That's a matchup that is in the same side of the bracket as these two teams right here in front of us, the 7 Edmonds-Woodway and the 2 Glacier Peak. So the winner will move on to Wednesday at Jackson. As a shot by Rice.
It's going to be interesting, the rebound, as you're walking through the brackets
and
there.
And then they will play the winner of the Ferndale-Marysville-Pilchuck, the Tommies. And the loser will go back at the higher seeds home court to play through that loser's bracket. And then you got Arlington-Shorewood on the other side playing tonight. And then Everett against number 1 Stanwood on the south side of the bracket, the lower side of the bracket.
15 seconds, Rice goes up. The rebound, though, is good friend Okereke, and he puts it back in. Great rebound. And that's where his height and length kind of showed its strength right there. Good rebound. So 15-9. Head coach for Glacier Peak, Brian Hunter, doesn't like what he's seeing. He calls a quick timeout.
Well, it's a great timeout. I think I'd have done the same thing, because now you've just given up 3 hustle plays on the offensive end of the court, or defensive end of the court. You've let Edmonds-Woodway get those 3 offensive rebounds and the score. And then coming right back in to inbound the ball into the corner, directly into a trap, tailor-made trap. And you're going to have to settle things down. Right now, Glacier Peak looks kind of like I expect they looked. I didn't see the ball game in those last couple of minutes there on Tuesday night. You just got to calm the troops. You got the lead. You got the bodies. You got the athleticism. Let's go out and play our game, not get sucked into whatever Edmonds-Woodway is trying to do to us.
As Grant Peltier, fresh off the instructions from head coach Brian Hunter, inbounds, and again, full court pressure. Southard finds a leading pass there as the quarterback on the gridiron this past year to one of his receivers, Guffey. He couldn't quite get that one for a connection.
Well, and Coach Hunter just looked over at Brady Southard right there and just shook his head a little bit. Like, we don't call a timeout to do that. And Southard knew it.
Glacier Peak averages about 12 turnovers a game this season. Holland, speaking of turnovers, he shakes his head over to Coach.
And Edmonds-Woodway going with the speed lineup as Benji Perea comes into the ball game.
I see number 12 in the black. Again, white jerseys for the home Glacier Peak. Should have mentioned that right at the top of the ball game, but obviously the visiting black jerseys for Edmonds-Woodway. Peltier right, just classic. Nice job by Perea. Gets in the trap, and now he gets a little payback down to Southard. Southard one-on-one. Doesn't stop him, but there's a foul way back away on the backcourt.
That goes against Perea, but you're going to have to be very careful bringing the ball in very active hands with the three gentlemen in the black jerseys right now, Rice, Perea, and Holland.
Brilliant execution by Edmonds-Woodway, though, on that trap on the pressure. And Perea gets in with Peltier not looking. Peltier has the ball now in Holland. Tatro and Guffey, and two very good defensive ball clubs here, Keith.
Well, and you started off with a rash of offensive activity.
Tatro can't get that three, but again, Peltier gets in the way. GP the other way. Now Brady takes it all the way, and they get a call. Is that before the basket?
Call it on the floor, and that's a good call by the official. You know, so many of the fans and the kids on the floor watch so much NBA that you almost expect to get that extra step. But it was out on the floor, and it was a good call.
So, question: do they call three in the key anymore?
Barely. Very rare.
And you know, you're going to get a little bit more benefit of the doubt in the district level, both just being physical and with some of those three calls and the 10-second counts and the 5-second counts. You're going to get a little more benefit of the doubt during district and state playoff time than you would normally.
Grant Peltier drives in, and he's met with authority of a rejection, but it earns him the charity stripe. Peltier hits that one, and Grant has had a great season, played JV most of last year's junior and even sophomore year, but his job this whole season, he gets the nice assignment of the best offensive players. He hits the second one, so he has really had to work hard to take the other biggest, strongest offensive player out of the ballgame.
And that's a tough draw. If you're doing that every day in and day out, you got to be the guy that's that lockdown defender. That's almost as tough to get an offensive assignment, where you got to go in and score 10, 12, 15 points.
And there's a three-ball. Holland not going to get it. It's a good hustle there, and good sportsmanship as they help each other up. Karike.
You just get the sense that we haven't seen what these two teams can offer yet.
No, I think they're still a little nervous. There's a little anxiety here. I think we're settling down. 17-9, 5:33 in the second quarter. Peltier gets it out to Hatch. Again, Campanero, number 4 in the ball game, on him. Middendorf checked in. Out high. Guffey, 18 on the shot clock. Guffey now drives. Kicks it out. Peltier, no basket at all. Here comes the Warriors.
Everybody looks a little stiff, both in their shooting. Doesn't quite have the rhythm that they had when they were coming off the opening warm-ups.
A nice little take-in for Edwards.
And I think that's what Edmonds-Woodway is going to have to do. They're going to get their steals. They're going to work hard on defense, but I think they're going to have to attack this Glacier Peak defense and give themselves some more space to take those outside shots. But it's only going to be done if they can get the penetration.
And their defense causes a turnover. Middendorf throws it, and Brady can't quite get it. 17-11, 49 left in the second quarter. Scott Oshman, Keith Neely, live here from Glacier Peak High School. STSPN presented by shoreline.edu. And also the 5-tool executive player Todd Elving.
Producer, director, camera, scoreboard operator. audio engineer.
It's nothing he can't do, I tell you.
He washes our shirts.
It's unbelievable. Looking over to see again the crowd. I want to see if there's any Glacier Peak girls basketball players in the crowd tonight. They had a big win last night. Had to go to Canada practically and get the win over a very tough Ferndale team.
Boy, and it was a lot more closely matched ball game than I would have anticipated. I'd have said the way Glacier Peak girls have been playing basketball in the last couple of games, beautiful move underneath.
Great Marinez there. Okereke being active and feeling his presence early on as you see his defensive length bothering Brady. But a great dish by Marinez on that last series, Keith.
Okereke picking up foul number 3, and you're right, Marinez doing exactly what we had talked about, and that's attacking. And that doesn't necessarily mean scoring. It just means getting the defense to do something you want them to do rather than to put pressure on you. And Marinez was able to get that done, draw the double team, and a very open Okereke hit the basket.
The official score has 2 on Okereke as Brady Southard hits the first, and they are in the bonus 7 team fouls as Brady Southard gets the second shot here. Southard 51%, can't get that one, just shooting his average there from the stripe. Here comes Holland. Holland stops, drops. Too much sauce. Brady with a big rebound. You see his defensive rebounds coming in. The big fella has good anticipation, and he's going to go back to the stripe.
And if I were Coach Brown right now, I would give one guy one assignment, and that is on any shot attempt, you better find Brady Southard, and you better put a body on him. And that may be exactly what Tanner Caraco, who's coming into the ball game, a big body, linebacker, on the football team, that may be his assignment coming in.
Southard gets that one. So 4 minutes and 1 second left in this second period, 19-13. Kind of a little slowed this basketball game down. 8 team fouls now on Edmonds-Woodway as Brady front rim, but Guffey with the rebound keeps it alive for the Grizzlies. Southern, nice little ball fake. And he draws the foul again, as you said, Caraco.
Misplayed the snap count there just a bit.
Now, we got a roster when we walked in the door, and normally in basketball you don't get the weights, but they have Caraco Tanner at 6 foot, 230 pounds. Is that, you think that's?
230 is not a small human. And that's Tanner, you betcha.
Brady couldn't get that again. Holland now back off to Rice. Rice drives in, and Middendorf thought he got the ball, but
he did get the ball, but he had a body on him, and I would have given him the benefit of the doubt. Generally, on these district games, that's one you see let go. It honestly is. The difference is there have been so many fouls just like it on the other end. I think that's what elicited the whistle.
Jordan Rice hits that. My score, that's his first point of the game. 19-14. Jordan Rice, what an incredible kid. The 5'10 junior averaging just under 13 a game. And he hits the second one. I like his shoes. I've mentioned that already. It's kind of a signature, I've noticed when I'm watching your broadcast. As trap comes over, Guffey breaks it. Now Middendorf on the front court.
He got the cautionary shoes there. He got the orange from Rice, and if you look at Trey Holland, he's got the bright yellow.
That's right.
You know they're coming.
Backs in Middendorf. Great defense by Peterson. Nice turnaround right on the block. Just what you want from your big fella, but good, nicely played by Peterson. Holland with a little sweet jumper.
There you go, and 4 white jerseys in the center of the key there watching. Nobody stepped out on Holland, and somebody's going to have to take that duty, or he's just going to stand there and shoot 12-footers.
Trey Holland, and right back at you, Zach Hatcherama.
And that's the answer you needed.
His second 3 of the ball game for Zach Hatch, the junior. There's a timeout on the floor. We'll break away for just a second. Don't get anywhere. District 1 playoffs right here on STSPN.
We all want to protect our gift of sight, which is why regular eye exams are so important. Regular eye exams not only allow your optometrist to improve the quality of your vision by changing the prescription of your glasses or contact lenses, but also to assess your overall eye health. Even if you see clearly now, it does not mean your eyes are healthy or won't change over time.
Range, you know.
Back here, Scott Oshman with Keith Neely, our executive producer Todd Elvig. We were just talking at the break here. Again, Edmonds-Woodway coming at the end of the season, they lose a heartbreaker right before the Glacier Peak game Tuesday, and they lose a heartbreaker 61-58. On the precipice, I call it. I mean, they have been on the edge. So, you know, Coach Brown, that's probably mentally, they got to get over the hump. How do they do it? Well, tonight would be a first start.
Boy, it'd be a huge start. And you got to think about that in the back of your mind as a coach without letting your players know you're thinking about it. And that's sometimes very, very difficult to do. On the other side, how hard is it if you're Glacier Peak and your head coach, Brian Hunter, to beat a team that you're not maybe compatible with, maybe the answer? How hard is it to beat them 3 times in a row?
It's very hard as Coach Brown trying to get a timeout call. I need a TO, baby.
He was jumping. He was getting off the floor. I don't know. We already kind of given Todd Elvig our little bit of heat about his vertical, but you saw what Coach Brown was doing there. He was chair high.
He was, as trying to dribble from your seat there right in the paint as there was a skirmish. 15 on the shot clock, 11 seconds on the shot clock right now. I called for a quick 30. Again, 22-17. Again, a game of runs as typically it is. 2:32 left to go.
But they haven't been big runs, Scott. No. I mean, if you were thinking runs, you're thinking maybe 4 or 5 points could be considered a run at this particular point in the ball game.
Edwards for the inbound. Gets it over Peterson, right back over to Edwards, back over to Rice. Now Edwards gonna fly from 3. That one rims off. Again, on the ground, a free ball there, a loose ball. And another heady timeout call.
Saving possessions is really what it comes down to. You know you have a possession, and in a game like this where you're going to right now walk in maybe only 25 points put up on the board in a half of basketball, each and every one of these possessions is crucial.
And that's why, again, playoff basketball is so awesome, because it's just possession by possession. It starts tightening up. Again, Glacier Peak coming in 11-1 in the conference. Only their loss to Meadowdale. Meadowdale caused them issues this year. 16-4 overall.
They're not even in the tournament.
I know. There was a matchup problem there, you know.
Well, it's just funny because they're a team that also beat Edmonds-Woodway, I think 2 days later after they beat Glacier Peak, and yet where are they? You look up and down the bracket here and no Mavericks.
The Warriors, though, 6-6 in conference, 11-9 overall, and the one big difference, again, for Coach Hunter in his 8th season here since the inception of the school, but you know, last year they were picked to do nothing, and they led the West Coast South. Again, Edmonds-Woodway here in the 3A this year, 4A last year, but they come in as the favorite, and then they lose their point guard Luke Neal, and all of a sudden the wheels fall off. They lose to Marysville Pilchuck, and then they lose to Everett, and all of a sudden they're out. Done. As Peltier drives in, and good interior defense.
3-on-1.
Edwards, Caraco! Can't get the bounce, but he gets his own rebound. Rice fakes, drives up, and we'll see if that's going to be it. Oh, it is. And the Glacier Peak fans like it. Again, I defer to the official who's 2 feet away.
Absolutely, and I think it's a good call only because Rice made no shot at the hoop at that point in time. At the time he was driving in, there was no doubt in my mind he was going to make contact. His number one thing in his head at that point in time was to draw contact. And it wasn't to put the shot up. And I think that's what the referee saw.
And we call it a charge. They call it player control. And that was actually a player control foul. As you said, just wasn't under control as he drove to the basket. Great move as Brady Southern there with 1:35 left to go here in the first half. District 1 playoff basketball. And that's Argue in the game. And again, weren't sure he was going to play tonight with an ankle injury. His brother going out in the Shorecrest game, done for the season. Holland stops and drops.
That is such a difficult shot. When you're only going in, you're 8 feet, you're on the run, and you've got to go up and in control of your body the whole way.
Straight up.
And make that shot. Beautiful.
Squares his hips, does a great job, and so tough to defend because he can blow by you or he can hit that nice little sweet jumper.
Well, at that point in time, you're on your heels.
Yes.
If you're a defender. So there's no way you're getting back up to put a hand in that face.
And Justin, as we call on the football field, Justin the Hitman Guffey, gets hit himself. And they're going to call the foul on Rice as he's explaining what happened to Coach Brown on the sidelines in the bottom of your screen.
And now Coach Brown, after 2 fouls that are probably avoidable at this point in time.
And Justin,
you got to talk to your player, but then he's also having a bit of a conversation with the referees right now also, Scott.
Just getting a clarification, I'm sure.
That's what it is.
A polite clarification. Guffey coming in 75% from the line. As he hits that one, he gets boxed out and down.
That's a confident stroke, though. You watch a kid like that on the line, just oozing confidence.
Rice with a little tough shot. Fadeaway, stretching for the rebound, and Warriors come up with it. Perea, and he's hacked from behind by Hatch.
Hatch, a little love tap on the bean there as he was heading in.
Perea, again, 5'6". Quick player, the senior.
Probably not quick enough. I think if he realized what he had about a second and a half earlier, he had to lay it.
Lead 5, 24-19, 40.7 seconds left to go in this first half. And Edmonds-Woodway staying right with him. Perea misses the first. Again, 16 fouls only on Glacier Peak, 10 double bonus for Edmonds-Woodway. They got in the bonus early here in the fourth quarter, Keith, and that slowed it down. Perea hits the second nicely.
And looking down here, it's Edmonds-Woodway allowing 61.5 points per game on defense. And Glacier Peak putting up better than 55, almost 56 points. So I really do think it's going to come down to Edmonds-Woodway defense in this ball game.
Yeah, and they just get it across to the front court in time there. Had a tough inbound. Peltier back around. Brady sees a lane. Now he tries to kick it out cross court to Guffey with 25.9 seconds on the game clock, 21 on the shot clock. Glacier Peak will get it one more time for an offensive set.
Southern had to get the student body, Edmonds student body coming in after, and he drew a triple team there and had that kick work. Had a wide open shot attempt.
I'd like to give a shout out to the Edmonds-Woodway cheerleaders. That was good reflexes there. Peltier on the top, tough defense by Holland, Brady in the paint, lefty. Can't get a Peterson rebound, but Argue comes in and Jacob Argue comes in.
3 Edmonds-Woodway players there for the rebound, but you notice where they were. They were all stacked directly underneath the rim. It's tough to rebound under there, and with any authority anyway. They're gonna have
a lot of big bodies down underneath, Keith. Holland, 1-on-3, floats it, and he draws the foul. Trey Holland.
Good awareness by Holland. I'm not sure I like that call. When you're driving in against a triple team, do you really give it to the guy that, I don't know if it's a reputation call. I like Trey Holland's game, Scott.
Yeah, that's going to be the second on Peltier as Trey Holland can't get that one to roll. Holland again averaging just under 15 a game. He had 20 Tuesday night right here on this floor.
I didn't see, did he hit that free throw?
He did not. 24-20, 4-point lead here for Glacier Peak with 3.5 seconds. Holland, nice little shooter's touch there. I have him for 8 points, and there's a half quarter, not gonna make it. That was right. Just, I don't know if you saw College Game Day early this morning. I think at SMU, I can't remember what it was. The State Farm, they hit it from half court. It's always fun when they get a student in there and they get $18,000. Don't we have that in the budget here at STSPN?
Yes, we do.
24-21 is the lead here at halftime. Keith and I will step away. We'll be back with more District 1 playoff basketball on STSPN.
Clogged drain? Other plumbing problems? Call Action Jackson Plumbing for 24-hour service. Owned by a lifetime Edmonds resident and Edmonds-Woodway grad, Action Jackson is the drain cleaning specialist. They can unclog most internal drains for only $99 plus tax. Call 425-877-5601 or visit actionjacksonplumbing.com. I can run down the girls if you want.
Absolutely. That's a good lead-in, Keith.
I think we'll do that.
Scott Oshman, Keith Neely here. Halftime, 24-21 right now. Glacier Peak hanging on to a tight lead. And as everybody is excited about this time of year for high school basketball, Keith, boy, on the girls' side, Edmonds-Woodway, Glacier Peak, Linwood. I mean, you look at Seattle Times, Arlington,
Ferndale.
it's all in the north, man, all in the north.
One of those rare times where the basketball gods have looked down upon the Wesco and said, "This is for you." Because really, you got 5 of the top 10 teams in the state of Washington on the girls' side of things that have to go through District 1 bracket. 2 of them aren't going to make it, Scott. 3 go. 2 of those top 5 in the state will not continue.
That's going to be a heartbreaker because they're just all so good.
So good. Now
who you play when you play them.
And a lot of that's absolutely correct. And that'll be a great lead into talking about Glacier Peak, the Grizzlies girls basketball program. Boy, coming in the last 2 weeks of the season, the first game last night against incredibly good teams. The punctuation mark probably goes against the, at the time, #1 ranked Linwood Royals, upsetting them with some pressure-packed defense, and then coming in a couple of nights later and beating #6 ranked Edmonds-Woodway Warriors with authority. It was a shellacking at Edmonds-Woodway on the EW home court. So
nobody saw that coming. Nobody saw that coming.
It is peaking at the right time, exactly what it is. And let's just run down the bracket. Shoot, we got it right in front of us. Edmonds-Woodway and Stanwood. Edmonds-Woodway, the 6th seed, had to go up to play at Stanwood. Long road trip, 71-65. The final in that one, Edmonds-Woodway gets to go against their nemesis, the Linwood Royals, on Tuesday night, 6:00 p.m. A game that these two teams, I think, have met 7 times in the last 2 years or something crazy like that. And they get to continue to do it. And the one stat you probably can foresee here is Edmonds-Woodway has not won one of those games. And then Linwood playing
Peterson. Sorry to interrupt.
Peterson,
Peterson's got to get on fire again. She got hot there. She was unbelievable. And then she kind of cooled off here. I mean, credit the defense. I'm not, but they got great players, but I'm telling you, Peterson,
she's something special.
She's a key cog in that big wheel over there.
Absolutely. We'll just run quickly down the brackets as we get started here in the third quarter. Linwood upending Everett 80-21, a game that wasn't even close last night. Glacier Peak having to travel, like you said, to Canada, at least to Blaine, and 78-71 win over Ferndale. And the final game, the #1 ranked Arlington Eagles, #1 in the district.
Southern there, point blank range, can't get it. Again, great defense there by Ollie Gay, and Edmonds-Woodway, the Warriors now with their first offensive possession here. The second half, trying to cut in to this lead. Only 3 right now as Keith rounds out the girls' side.
Only game left to talk about, Arlington 74, Shorewood 27. So EW Linwood against GP Arlington.
Nice turnaround jumper there by Rice. 4 in the ball game, and they're going to almost get a turnover as Brady Southard, he got smacked and he comes up limping as Peterson. And Brady already with a brace on his left knee. That is one player for Glacier Peak cannot afford to lose in any capacity.
Yeah, you need him on the floor. You got to have him on the floor. And now another foul.
And Guffey
Marinez with a little bit of extracurricular.
Man, was that a good flop, though?
I don't know. This time of year.
I watched him. He flopped and then he laid there for a while.
Maybe we get the replay machine going, turning up the turbines on the replay machine for the second half here, Todd. I'm always asking for the replay, Keith.
You can keep asking.
I can. We've had it turned up. Again, great defense. Denied defense. They get it into Middendorf, and he leads. Peltier gets there. But Marinez there hassling him.
Finally getting rid of the rock.
Gets it out. 20 seconds on the shot clock. Opening minutes here of the second half. Tight pass under Guffey to Middendorf. Nice little adjustment around Peterson, and Jacob Middendorf with 4 points tonight, 26-23, 6:38 in the third quarter.
I don't think Mittendorf had full possession of that basket about 3/4 of the shot attempt.
Yeah.
He finally, at the very end, was able to get enough on it.
And Ali Gay comes back the other way with a really nice, strong finish to the rack.
It's a 1-point ball game.
Guffey, bounce over to Middendorf. Kick out to Hatch. Now Peltier will set it. Rice on him. Extended, tough, man-to-man D. Hatch, floater, right hand.
Such a tough shot. Off balance on the run. One defender on your hip, one in front of you, and still able to get it down.
10 for the junior, but Rice the other way with the running right hand off the square. Jordan Rice, 6 points. And a 1-point game, and you can feel the Edmonds-Woodway intensity and enthusiasm turned up just a skosh here in the start of the third.
Let's see if I can see that.
There's the great shot right there by Rice as he gets a 3-point the old-fashioned way. 7 on my sheet for Jordan Rice.
That's what I've got.
We are tied up, my friend.
I think the aggressor is going to have a really good shot here, and there the Edmonds-Woodway faithful not happy about that call, Scott.
Either is Coach Robert Brown, and he had a very good view from his standpoint. And Edwards with his second. Again, this will be interesting as we get down the stretch. The foul, either foul trouble or not foul trouble. Guffey back to Peltier, and again, crosses into the front court. Bounce pass to Bindor. Strong up to the basket. A delayed call by the underneath official, and Middendorf is down, but he's getting up.
That's a foul. Without question. You knew that coming in. I don't know if he was waiting for his partner to make the call, but definitely got to make the whistle blow on that one. We're tied at 28.
28-28 with 5:41 left to go in the third quarter. As Middendorf gets to the line. But yeah, we were all waiting for the foul, the whistle. And that is, you're right, third. Middendorf called bank apparently.
Kiss to the glass.
Middendorf with 5 points as Okarike goes and takes a seat.
Brady Edwards right back into the ball game after sitting all of about 10 seconds there.
And Middendorf gets his own rebound. Hatch from 3. Right off the back cylinder. And here comes the Warriors. Holland slices, puts up. Oh, I don't know if he was trying to get the basket or it was an alley-oop to Ali Gay or not.
I'm not entirely sure.
He kind of puts it up as you see on the
Gay
replay.
saw that the ball was going to be coming off his direction.
So 1 point on the Middendorf. We slow that one down. Looks like he throws it up. I think he threw that up for Gay and he wanted him to flush it.
Gay can get up high. No, he doesn't necessarily have the most control in the world, but boy, he can fly.
Peltier brings it into the front court. Again, full court press. Brady, they're flying. Guffey from 3, he nails it. Big time player, Justin Guffey, 7.
And a 5-point play after the turnover on the Edmonds-Woodway end. That one won't fall.
Jordan can't get it to go, rolls right. Now here's Guffey back the other way. Brady Southard, 4:53 in the third quarter, 32-28. We were tied at 5:41 left in the third. Hatch to Middendorf, back around to Guffey who hit a big 3. They switch out. Middendorf finds a trailing Brady Southard, and the coach couldn't have drawn it up any better, Keith.
You have to look for mismatches, and you have to look for opportunities to draw double teams, and you had them both there in that sequence. As soon as the ball was double teamed in that right-hand corner, Brady Southard realized that he had a smaller defender on him, and the mismatch was going to be there no matter if he had a clear lane or not, which he did. But to put a smaller defender on your hip just gives you the confidence to go right into the hole and an easy, easy bucket. Perfect execution.
Well, they're quick, and it's high risk, high reward when you're going to play the flying trap.
Well, that's what I keep saying. You know, I'm watching Edmonds-Woodway, and they're just crazy insane. And I think when on defense, and they're so fast, and I think there's a lot of risk in that because, you know, if they overthink it, they're going to wind up running into the guy, hitting his arm.
At this point in time, I think you have to go risky. Edmonds-Woodway gets into a half-court matchup with Glacier Peak. I think they're going to lose it. They can't afford to sit back and let Glacier Peak dictate pace. I think if you're Edmonds-Woodway, the only chance you're going to have in this ball game is to come out flying, and that's what we're seeing so far.
With 4:38, again, foul is going to be a potential issue. 5 team fouls already on Edmonds-Woodway here. Only 1 team fouls in this half for Glacier Peak. Trey Holland with the basketball and the yellow treads. Holland thinks about it. Guffey comes back out. Now Glacier Peak going to that 2-3 zone, Keith. Interesting. Holland drives right. Finds a great dish to Brady. Just a little short.
Edwards has to finish that. That's a shot that is tailor-made for his body style. And long, lean, and athletic, and get up above the rim. He's got to finish that.
No lack of hustle here on either side. Peltier, great spin. Pass interior back to Southern. Now
Here
Guffey
comes the
lights
dagger.
it. Boom! Guffey with his second consecutive 3-ball corner pocket.
And the score blossoming now after being tied. The run.
Great find, though, with Rice down into Ollie Gay. Ollie, a good-looking ball player.
Southern, Glacier Peak, don't let them stick around.
That one too short, and a hustling Hatch. Oh, I think he tipped it up. Jordan Rice, what a hustle by the junior Zach Hatch. He was a lone ranger down there, Keith.
The lone wolf, and he did that by will, sheer will.
And what was a 28-all tie with 5:41 in the third. Just now here, 3:28, 37-30. And the runs we were talking about, they weren't big in that first half. This one, a big one by GP. Tough foul there on Marinez, if they're going to call Marinez.
I believe they are.
Number 10, Dominic Marinez, his 3rd foul.
And that's 3 on Dom, and 6 again, team fouls. Nice inbound. Oh, and Middendorf can't get it once but twice. Here comes Rice, and then Middendorf.
You gotta call that one just like you called the foul on Dom. Excellent job. Referees, you know, some of the best in the Wesco. They're the ones that earn the right to be at the district and state level. So, and their faces we recognize.
And I'm sure the 6'4" Middendorf, he was frustrated. He knew he had a gimme right off the inbound play. Right at the doorstep is Peterson, big number 40 with the ball. Gets it over to Trey Holland. 3:11 left to go in this third quarter. And Edmonds-Woodway trying to get something going. Top of the key. Edwards. Nice little fadeaway. Can't get it. Here comes Hatch the other way. 1-on-4. And they're going to call the foul on Trey Holland as they were running down in the corner. Kind of bailed Hatch out, actually.
I think you'll be shooting free throws now. Already in the bonus, and we're only... 3-minute mark of the third quarter, and that has to play into the Grizzlies' hand here.
That is a unique feature of this particular ball game. 7 fouls as Hatch gets it. Again, Hatch shooting 60% from the free throw line coming in tonight.
Had the clutch free throw on Tuesday.
Yes.
That kept Glacier Peak just ahead of the comeback attempt. The bid cut just short by Edmonds-Woodway.
Perea there. Rebound. Now they got the speedsters in there. Edwards drives in the trees. Here's Jordan. Can't get that 3 ball. Zach Hatch on his horse on the way. Perea sticks his hand in there and pokes it out of bounds. Good defensive play there by number 12, Perea.
It shows the team speed that Edmonds-Woodway had. Hatch had it a breakaway look to start with, and by the time they got down to the free throw line, he had 3 bodies ahead of him.
8-point lead as they can't handle the inbound, and Rice hustles out, and he's frustrated as he hits the scoring table, understandably. These kids are playing their hearts out as they always do.
Crowd wanted the foul call on the tee, and now we've got an offensive foul as Zach Hatch ties up Jordan Rice on the right in front of his own bench.
Fouls on number 2, Zach Hatch.
And I have 3 down now for Zach.
We'll see what the official scores are. They have 4.
Boy, I missed one. And that could be costly.
That is huge. Oh no, that's the 4th. That they're going to put that is on a Hatch. That's on Middendorf, but that's his 4th. Again, that's also key. Middendorf, the senior, one of the big bodies down there. Right on the elbow. Brady Edwards going to kind of a new tactic this second half. Perea with a jump shot and
got the glue on it.
No return to sender there.
And it'll go out of bounds now after the alternating possession. Edmonds-Woodway will get it back. That's new also. It is not a turnover. It is an alternating possession, so the arrow will flip back to the Grizzlies on this possession.
Shot clock at 17. Rice, good looking fadeaway. Can't find the rhythm. Jordan having a tough night tonight from the field, Keith.
Yeah, Rice normally one of those guys you want the ball in his hand when it comes down to these last 2 and 3 minutes of each quarter, and he's already got 7 points, but a large amount of those have come from the free throw line, not from the field.
Call under the basket on Ryan Peterson, his 3rd. Again, we're 8 team fouls already in the bonus as Brady Southard for Glacier Peak sits down, and Brendan Tatro will come in, one of the heroes from Tuesday night's win over Edmonds-Woodway.
The junior threw down 5 triples. 18 points and 5 threes. And his body style out there, just looking at him, I don't know Brendan, but I wouldn't guess he's a guy that lingers out around the arc.
No. Looks like a wide body down there playing in the paint.
He does. So I'd have been probably lulled to sleep and let him have those long ones too.
Guffey hits the charity stripe first shot here. Again, 60% free throw shooter on the year. Guffey, nice little rotation, gets both of those. And boy, Glacier Peak's going to get a lot of free throw shooting tonight. Perea.
I got him 4 for 4 from the stripe.
There you go, Zach.
Perea, nice little turnaround turnover. Into Peterson, can't get the gimme rollover. Big rebound underneath. It comes up GP. Here's Grant Peltier.
Peterson couldn't hit it. Okereke couldn't hit it.
Almost ran right into that trap. Perea out on Peterson, gives up size, but I think that's about it. He's got some quickness. Now arguing the game. Number 23 in the white for Glacier Peak. Down low to Tatro. Back out, Hatch from long range, short. Gets his own rebound, drives in. Peterson, nice block! And Peterson, outlet pass to Brady Edwards, or excuse me, Rice.
No, that's Edwards.
No, that is Edwards. That was right the first time.
Edwards having a tough shooting night too. He usually sticks those.
Peltier.
That was lucky not to get a walk call.
Guffey. Here's Argue. A little mid-range jumper, can't get it, but a big rebound by Tatro. 57 seconds left in the third quarter. A big third quarter for Glacier Peak. And Jacob Argue again. Didn't know if he was going to be able to play at a
Here
hurt.
Comes.
Here's a 3. Tatro! Drills it just where he wants it. Picks
Oh,
up
he's going to have a rep now.
Picks up where he left off. And the 3 ball can change it all. Edwards in the corner now.
You can tell Edwards' body language didn't even want to attempt that shot. Normally that's one he'll spot up and shoot. And he's having such a rough shooting night. He's pulled it right back out.
Peterson on the elbow, double team now. Again, this zone, I think, causing some frustrations. 5 seconds left in the shot clock. Bouncer, Peterson with the rebound back out. Now here's Rice. and can't get it.
A push call underneath.
Again, got to be tough for these officials to call.
A lot of big bodies down there.
2.8 seconds on the game clock here in the third quarter, 43-30. We were tied at 28 all with 5:40 left in this quarter.
Boy, and it felt like when we were going into halftime that all the air in the gym had just been let out. It was quiet, and now 2.8 seconds to go. There's a bit of a rumble here amongst the crowd.
Tatro did his job, hit a 3-ball. Now he's ready to sit down. 13-point lead for Glacier Peak here in the District 1 opening playoffs. Perea!
Amongst the trees.
Oh, I tell you
Chopping
what.
wood.
That's right. Perea, not afraid to go down under. The big fellas. The senior, though, gets to the stripe with 1.9 seconds.
Perea all of 5'4", attacking 6'4", 6'4", 6'1".
They got him at 5'6", Keith. Come on now. He misses the first. But again,
I got Dom for 5'6" and Perea for 5'4". Did I miss something there?
I don't know. They do have 5'6" for Perea. Benji Perea hits that one. As the time, we'll see if he can get it down, and that's picked off. Rice from way down, almost. That had the angle was correct. The trajectory was good, just not enough mustard for Jordan Rice tonight. So 43-31 after 3 quarters of play. Don't go away. Right back on it.
Shoreline Community College and Puget Sound Auto Dealers Association have been recognized internationally for its pioneering in finding a new way to deliver technical training for automotive repair.
Scott Oshman, Keith Neely, the voice of the Edmonds-Woodway Warriors. Boy, you've been calling football, basketball, I don't know.
10 years now.
Is it really?
Yeah. We started out with a microphone and a computer about 10 years ago. So, yeah, we've been doing it a while.
Outstanding. Well, it's a pleasure. This year, our first year. This is our 5th year doing this. And it's a pleasure. This is our 2nd game to work together, and it's always a blast. Nice defense by Holland again. Finds a lonely Argue.
Got it.
Gets it into the cup. Jacob coming off an ankle injury. Again, his brother, Zach Argue, going down, out for the season with a concussion against Shorecrest. His absence definitely being felt. Trey Holland, now they go back to man-to-man, and he carries himself, and they're going to call the player control. Glacier Peak fans like it, Edmonds-Woodway people do not.
Just trying to do a little bit too much. You've got 8 minutes to do enough to get this lead back. And it doesn't all have to come in one possession. It doesn't all have to come through a single guy. But right there you had Brady Edwards try to attack a double team that turned into a triple team. He was able to get rid of it to Holland, who tried the exact same thing. And you got a couple other guys on the floor. You're drawing double teams. You got to find them. That's the job.
Into Argue. Again, the full court press, and again, new player number 21 in, Rogan, Finn Rogan in for Edmonds-Woodway, and they barely get that across the timeline to the front court. Zach Hatch out front, there's Rogan. Argue. And Peltier drives the baseline and slips it by the big fella in. Grant Peltier, the senior.
And right now is the chance for the Grizzlies to really put the pressure on.
And Hatch will get a little right over the front rim, and head coach Robert Brown has seen enough with 6:52 to start this 4th. He wants a TO, baby.
You got to get a timeout. You're in trouble. You're trailing. Your defense is following players, not guarding them. And you need to get a stop, at least in their minds, and tell them, look, guys, we've still got 7 minutes left. You're not out of this, but you're going to have to start playing smart basketball.
And there's a lot at stake here. It's much better to be on the winner's side of that bracket than it is on the loser's side. And why is that, Keith Neely?
Well, you're going to play. We've seen it be successful, but it is a haul. It is a marathon, not a sprint. 2 and done. You can get to state with the 2 wins coming out. And Coach Brown might be talking about that right now, saying, guys, listen, we want to do this the easy way. We don't want to do it the hard way. You'll have to play Wednesday night, Friday night, Saturday night, if you want to get just to the regional round. And even then, if you go in number 3, you got to play the big boys.
Yep. It's painful. Painful as Coach Brown, again, my first time to meet him, but he has done a tremendous job this year getting this club even, really to this point, but I like what he's doing, and I think he's got a great ball club, and they're going to be tough next year and beyond.
What you probably don't know is they had 3 head coaches prior to the season.
Yes, right.
Right.
I was
Coach
looking
Brown is coming in at the very end to basically resurrect any chance of consistency.
And Brady Edwards finally gets rewarded for his strong plays to the hoop, and he gets that one to go. The junior. Brady Southard with the ball for the white jersey Glacier Peak Grizzlies. And there's Grant Peltier. Holland, high pick, and he tries to give one to Brady. Brady pick and roll. Turn around, can't get the jumper. Big rebound. And arguing there with Rogan. Finn Rogan, a 6'5" senior.
I think they'll call that on Rogan. All I saw was bodies on the floor.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard. It's like a football pileup. You got to get down on the floor and get in there. It's first for Rogan, who comes in.
Double bonus the rest of the way for the Grizzlies. Just step up and shoot some free throws.
Hits that one. Yeah, good to see Argue back on the floor. Weren't sure when he was going to get back. And he hits the second.
And I see everybody that has been in the ball game, save Tatro, has been at the free throw line for Peak.
I think you're correct. I'm sure you are. Never question it.
Oh, you got to question a lot.
They come out top. Now it looks like a little triangle and one or something. Rogan down low, tries to get it going, kicks it out, and there's great thought, but the feet were not with you.
Well, a little Flintstones move with the vehicle there. I think he got about 6 steps in before the body went forward.
And that's Mark Campanero, the 5'10" senior, with a good, again, he knew exactly what he wanted to do. It just didn't execute. 51-33, 5 minutes, 50 seconds left here in the fourth quarter. As there's a...
And I didn't see
what happened. I don't
allowed the technical foul to be called there. Trey Holland will step to the stripe.
Must have been talking some smack.
And they're getting the explanation right here in front of us. Brian Hunter doesn't look happy with the explanation.
No. Doesn't matter what the lead.
No, you don't have to come out of the game on a technical. Let's just.
I think it's subject to the.
I think that's a coaching decision.
I don't know what as far as officials. Trey hits the second there. I'm on my sheet for 9 points tonight. Again, the sophomore is just going to get better and better and better.
Oh, I see. It's not. So he doesn't have to come out for anything.
No.
Nope.
And Holland goes right at Guffey, and he drains it.
Circus shot.
Again, sign me up. I'm a Trey Holland fan.
Oh, no.
Big, long, tough pass, again, with this quick Edmonds-Woodway team. Tough to do that cross court or really back court to front court.
I haven't seen a whole lot of luck with that all night. I think they've had more balls stolen with that.
Well, for your Edmonds-Woodway, that's exactly what you want to do. Pressing, trapping. Again, they trap Zach Hatch over there. 5:30 left, and they get it to pay off. Holland goes with a nice kiss off the glass, and Trey Holland all of a sudden warming up. 13.
Still trying to put the pressure on, and you're going to have some risk there. It almost looked like he walked with a basketball.
Almost did. He kind of went around and under the basket, but argue it hits that again. 53, but a 3-ball. Trey Holland sizzling.
Giddy up. Trey Holland says, I do not want to go through the loser's bracket. I do not want to do it the hard way.
I did that last year.
Got all the way to that final game, won the number 3 in the district, Edmonds-Woodway, and then Bothell came to town.
Big win over Snohomish, and they were in the 4A, now starting at 3A. Good break to press, and again, very unintentional. Rice gets Brady up again. I think he was he was flying down there, and Brady gets up okay.
Souther didn't like it, and Rice went over to help him up.
Yep.
And he was pushed away by Southern.
Again, I think the intensity is high. All these kids are flying as fast as they can.
Good hard foul. I mean, if you're going to go in on a breakaway, you don't want to do it and do a little tic-tac minor foul. You want to go in and make sure that the bucket isn't scored and you don't have a 3 or 4 point play coming against you. And that's exactly what Rice did, and went over to help up Southern. And Southern just thought he had enough. Got a little too much of it.
Meanwhile, it's a 3rd foul on Rice. Brady hits the shot there. 54-41. After 3 quarters, it was 43-31 as Brady hits that one as well. 10 points for the senior Brady Southern. Holland now. And Trey does not understand, and the official illustrating what the call was as he pushed off with the front elbow.
Again, it's one of those things where you have some success the last 2 trips. Holland has hit a 3. He got in there and got a body on, was able to get a little runner on that left-hand side of the lane and felt like he could do it on the right-hand side. Problem is, doing it against one player, a man-to-man, and then doing it against a double team are entirely different things.
And now it's getting...
That's an offensive foul.
A little loose.
And that's what happened when Brady Southern, that happened on the last trip down.
Yep.
Not that one, but the one prior, because he got up, had a little bit behind him, realized he had been hit hard, did not like it, and then lowered the shoulder on a little payback coming down the court that trip.
Brady, his first foul tonight. Last year, that was an issue for the junior, when he was a junior, Brady Southern, got into foul trouble early. Great footwork as Edwards gets that tipped, I believe, and now Brady's going to take on 4 Warriors at a time. Guffey in the front court. Hatch, 3-ball. Can't get it. He has 2 from earlier. Now here comes Warriors. It's a run and gun game now, Keith, as Peltier comes down with it.
And I'm not entirely sure it has to be. I think it has to be light your hair on fire on defense. And Edmonds-Woodway's shown that they can do that. I'm not so sure that they have to rely on 1-on-4s on offense.
19 on the shot clock, 3:53 left in this one, and that's what our good friend John McClain would call a Sumner bounce pass as he grew up in the South End. Big shout out to Johnny McClain. Ron Henthorn, the wedge, a usual character here on the STSPN broadcast.
So
yeah, we miss him down on the floor.
Yeah, the wedge, man, he can break a crowd like nobody's business. Trey Holland the other way. 55-41, now a floater. Tough shot! Trey Holland, are you kidding me?
Holy smoke. Playground. That's a playground shot right there. He can hit him.
And Holland picks your pocket and he'll go the other way, draw the foul. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Trey Holland Show. We're merely just your guides.
Would you like to buy a headset?
My goodness. The sophomore, 5'9", Trey Holland. Oh, my.
Peltier with 4 personal fouls now. That could be an issue in the final 3:28. Holland hits the first one.
Holland.
And here we are, Scott. Remember, down 11 with 4 minutes to go. Edmonds-Woodway back on Tuesday nearly did it.
Yep. 3:28.
What's the score?
55-44, 11 right
11.
here.
And there's an offensive rebound. Okereke came streaking in from that high position, split the double team, and heads back to the free throw line. And what better thing to do if you're Edmonds-Woodway than get opportunities to put points on the board with the clock stop.
That clock stop is like the sixth player out there for Edmonds-Woodway. And I asked Coach Brown before the pregame interview, are you having deja vu? Because you were just here. Okereke misses the first. That's going to be critical if they can hit these down the line. But here we are, 3:28, fourth quarter. Crowd nice and silent. Okereke hits the second one.
And these are those times, if I'm Glacier Peak, you got to preach play to win this thing. Let's not play not to lose it, or you're going to find that you're on your heels the remaining 3:30. You got to play to win this ball game.
Another foul. That has been a foul fest here. And Rice with his fourth foul tonight as 3:28 left on the game clock here for a chance to go on the winner's bracket and move on.
Ferndale or Marysville Pilchuck will be the opponent come Wednesday night, 6 p.m., Jackson High School.
And again, I really like Marysville Pilchuck, not as familiar with Ferndale. Zach hits both of those. Again, he was kind of one of the stars Tuesday night, hitting some big free throws down the stretch. Edwards for three, too much, but a big rebound. Oh, and he goes down, no call.
And that's one of those things that kind of takes your breath away for a second. Okereke bounced his back of his head off the deck. Comes up okay.
6'3" can sky, and he came in, went down. Argue now with the ball on the far side. Edwards guarding him.
6.3 to 0.3 and seconds to the deck.
But 9 seconds on the shot clock. They're way extended. Argue needs to get the ball, and he makes an errant pass. This one off the legs of Rice. But a great possible steal there for Rice.
Well, you might actually get the steal in the long run because only 2 seconds on the shot clock right now. You've got to go the length of the court and get a shot off.
Great point. Argue hits the rim, and there's 2-on-1. Big flying rebound there. They're over.
You get him high, I'll get him low.
Yeah, exactly.
And Marinez will go to shoot double bonus time. So both these teams have got armor on tonight.
It is a rough and tumble. It really is. It's a brawl here at the Cave tonight, and that's what playoff basketball typically is.
It is, and normally you get away with a little bit of that. The referee's got the handles on it from the get-go.
And I was just thinking, it's Valentine's Day, so not a lot of Valentine wishes here on the court. But a happy Valentine's to everybody as he hits that.
How did you get out of the house on Valentine's Day?
My wife was taking a nap, and I just walked out the door.
You must have bought her something really nice.
I've been married 21 years. That's how.
Training. It's all about the training.
It's both of those, right, Marinez?
Yeah, it is. First 2
Boy,
points.
tough pass in. Now the pressure. This is what happened Tuesday night. Center course off the fingertips of Hatch into Marinez's hands. Marinez cross court. Hollins, thought about the three now. Drives. Bouncer gets his own rebound. No, it's Okereke, and oh my.
He's active. He is everywhere on the glass tonight. Windex cleaning it up.
And Holland might want to just, well, I don't know. Tough for me to say to
don't you let that one fly.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, I think you do.
Pull the trigger, let her rip.
And you're down by 10.
He had a three ball in this quarter. That one gets the bounce.
Had claws on it. Grabbed hold.
I have 6 for Okereke, and right at his season average. Argue diving to the floor, gets it back to the Warriors. Edwards with a nifty pass out to Rice, and they're going to get the call fouled.
And this is exactly what we were talking about. Don't play not to lose this ball game if you're Glacier Peak. Play smart. You have everything in front of you. You've got the 8-10 point lead. Just let it come to you. Dictate pace. Don't be dictated.
57-48. A chance for Rice here to make it really interesting. He misses the front. And Middendorf's going to come in and relieve Mr. Argue, Jacob. And both teams in the bonus. 2:24 left to go in this District 1 playoff boys basketball game. Rife get that one to go, and that's a big one now. 57-49, big full court press. Had some difficulty breaking it. Peltier going into the corner, right to the trap, finds Southern. And another cross court. Guffey able to bring it in. Driving Peltier, and that goes right off the glass for Grant Peltier. A great assist by Guffey. Holland the other way for three. Yes!
Back and forth, 2 minutes to go. I've got Holland for 21.
I am for 22 of that three ball. We'll compare notes after. Brown going nuts with his players. Finally get across in the front court. As the limit, 1:45 left, 59-52. Zach Hatch, the ball. Playing catch now with Guffey, 16 on the shot clock, 1:35 in the game. Holland switches out on Peltier in the post. Middendorf. Peltier driving, but Holland was kind of hanging on as he cut to the lane.
I've got that for 4 on Holland. So 4 on Holland, 4 on Rice.
They're not going to leave without using them up. So Grant Peltier, the senior coming in. 68% free throw shooter coming in, misses the front end here.
And I've got him 2 for 3 on the night from the stripe.
This one had a roller coaster ride in it, and he misses both of them, could be critical. And we'll see, did he touch the end line there, the out of bounds? He did. Great hustle there by Miranez, but
Glacier Peak able to get almost a full minute off the clock. Well, about 30 seconds off the clock in that last possession. And now we'll get it back to see if they can't erase another 20 or 30 seconds.
Do not touch whatever device you're watching this ball game on. Just stay away, all right? Put the caution tape up, because this one could be really cool. 59-52 with 1:24 left.
Drain or other plumbing problems? Call Action Jackson Plumbing for 24-hour service. Unclogging most internal drains for just $99 plus tax. Call 425-877-5601 or visit actionjacksonplumbing.com.
Back live here right at the end of this one. Fourth quarter, $1:24 on the game clock, 59-52. You've had a lot of free throw practice tonight.
A lot of free throws.
Keith at the break was running the numbers.
11 for 22 for Edmonds-Woodway, only 50%. And then you look at Glacier Peak, have had 24 chances, have hit 18. And that's the difference in the ball game, 7 points right there.
Tatro in the ball game hit wearing number 20 as they're waiting down with 19 left on the shot clock, and Miranez has to draw the foul, has to commit the foul on Justin Guffey. Glacier Peak coming into the ball game only hitting 61% from the line. But tonight they have 75%. That's a good increase. That's exactly when you want. If you're going into the playoffs.
Oh, in district time, it's going to be free throws. It's going to come down to that.
Guffey front rim on that. Jake.
The broadcast jinx.
That's right. Middendorf gets back in. Tatro, he had his three ball tonight. He's done what he's supposed to.
So after this shot here, look for the big three to shoot the threes. Trey Holland, Jordan Rice, and Brady Edwards.
8-point lead now. Holland going to work. Lefty right in the paint. Can't get it, but Oak with the rebound. Can't get the second, but Edwards in with a third try. And Edmonds-Woodway going out of a rebounding clinic. And Brady Edwards, oh my. Okereke, Edwards, how many chances for the Warriors right under the
there were
cup?
3 right there, and as good a chances as they were, those little bunnies you want to have. You had the guy at the free throw line right now, Brady Southard, I think got a piece of at least 2 of those. Playing great defense, making sure his body was away from them and going top side for the ball.
Looking at it on the exclusive STSPN replay right there, I mean, it was like it had a trampoline under the basket, just kept going back up. The pogo stick there, Brady can't hit that. 8-point lead, 50.7 seconds. Edmonds-Woodway again with Trey Holland. I don't count him out.
Not quite yet. Remember, you get a couple of possessions here, and especially with something like that, that was not the most cerebral play in the world, because you don't want to put anybody on the line with 40 seconds to go and at least give the opportunity for Edmonds-Woodway to score without moving the clock. You got to make sure that thing is ticking down constantly. And now Edwards has a shot to cut the lead to only 6 points.
Brady.
Badly missed.
Can't get it. And on the other side in the white jersey, Brady Southard again, and ill-advised, as you were speaking to, Keith, and we couldn't have head coach Brian Hunter in the screen, but he didn't like the attempt by Southard, obviously known as senior. Costly 2 misses right there for Brady Edwards. And they're going to say that Southard traveled with the basketball, Edmonds-Woodway basketball.
So you have to watch the shoulders in that case. Is you have the feet down, and then as soon as you roll down onto either your butt or your shoulders, it's going to be a walk violation. Those are the extra moves, the extra step, so it were.
Just this past Tuesday night, last game of the regular season, Glacier Peak with a 61-58 win. Right here, Trey Holland now, 47 seconds, drives in, beautiful shot. Oh! And Southard seals the rebound and gets it out in the front court. A quick out, let pass to Guffey. And now Marinez has to foul. Boy, Trey. That's right on the edge.
They've had a lot of them hanging right off the rim, and that will be it for Dom Marinez. Fouls out of the ball game with 2 points, but has played his part on the defensive end of the court marvelously.
Outstanding. The junior will be back for another version. Edmonds-Woodway again coming back into the 3A this year as Guffey does not hit that one. 75, talk about the broadcast, Jinx.
Oh, we got him on 4 free throws since we mentioned that. I didn't want to say it and make it worse.
75%.
That time dribbles it in, so we're off the hook now, Scott.
Thank goodness. 13 for Guffey. Trey, now they're going to let it, a nice little shovel pass there. Okereke, but he couldn't handle the peach as Guffey comes back the other way. Stay tuned, we'll have a player of the game, I think, as I look to my right.
You get the affirmation over there from
11 seconds.
Chief Cook and Bottle Washer.
That's right, so Glacier Peak is going to move on. 3.5 seconds, 61-52. And they will move on the winner's side of the bracket. Edmonds-Woodway, don't count them out. They did this last year. They worked their way through the loser side with a big win against Snohomish to move on to face Bothell, unfortunately. But they know how to do this. So Glacier Peak either going to get Marysville-Pilchuck or Ferndale, is that correct?
That is right. That game started an hour after ours did, an 8 p.m. tip up at the home of the Tommies. Ferndale, the 6th seed, traveling down to number 3, Marysville-Pilchuck. So the winner will play Wednesday night, 6 p.m. at Jackson High School. And the loser will go on to face Edmonds-Woodway. Edmonds-Woodway, because of the 7th seed, has Ferndale number 6 and Marysville-Pilchuck number 3 will be on the road regardless on Wednesday night, regardless of the outcome of that Ferndale Marysville-Pilchuck game. So EW will have to get their traveling boots laced up once again, head on the road, and that'll happen Wednesday night, 7 p.m. tip-off for EW.
Stanwood cruising along easily, 43-18 right now. At halftime, other scores in again. Stay tuned and look up STSPN or SLSN. Again, KRKO 1380, the simulcast all the way through here, districts. And we're getting the wrap sign here for Todd Elvig. So,
well, this is my
This
third
is a long
game
day
and a half.
for him.
I'm good tired.
we're just getting going. Keith and I
really?
could be here all night.
It's a beautiful night out. Let's do 2.
Let's quickly just go down the scoring because I think that's important. Again, Guffey had a good game. Again, unofficial scores here, 13 for him, 13 for Zach Hatch. Had those 2 big 3-pointers. Brady Souther just, carrying the lunch pail, 10 for him. And then Peltier had some big buckets, had 8 points for Peltier. Middendorf coming in with 5. Argue back his first game since being out for a few with 4 points on the Glacier Peak side. What do you have for Edmonds-Woodway, Keith Neely?
I have Trey Holland down leading the Warriors with 21 points. I know you had him for 22, so we'll say he's got 21 and a half in this ball game.
Yeah.
Jordan Rice, I've got him down for 8 points, largely at the free throw line, was 4 for 5 from the stripe. Brady Edwards, tough shooting night for that kid. Had 7 the other night, only managed 4 points, and had a couple of wide open looks. Dom Marinez with 2, Benji Faria with a free throw. Okarike, what an athletic young man he has become. 6 points for Okarike. Ali Gay had 11 points on Tuesday night. Quieted just a little bit. Got going there in that third quarter with a pair of buckets back-to-back, but ended up the night with 6 points. And Ryan Peterson finishes with a deuce for the Warriors.
Well, it was a blast. Keith Neely, the voice of Edmonds-Woodway Warriors, for Todd Elvig, our executive producer, the 5-tool player who keeps adding just one more. It's unbelievable. He can do 6 broadcasts at one time. It's just Guinness Book of World Records. Here he comes. This is Scott Oshman, the final here. 61-52. Glacier Peak wins this one. Heading to districts. Always check every day on Twitter, Snohomish Times, Snohomish Sports, and STSPN. 61-52. Good night, everybody.